bacteria. So what is the purpose of the restriction enzymes in bacteria? They helps in defense. Okay, so defense mechanism is involved here. See, what happens is, the bacteria, okay, they are attacked by bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are the viruses. Okay, suppose this is a bacteria and this is a virus that is going to attack on your bacteria. So this bacteria, they have some specific restriction enzymes. Okay, here. So these are the sperm restriction enzymes. So what they are going to do when the virus, okay, the virus, how the virus gets entry, only the DNA part of this virus, it get entered into the cell. Okay, so the DNA, what the DNA will do, here is your bacterial chromosome. The DNA, with the help of the DNA will, this viral DNA will hijack your bacterial cell. Okay, with the by using all the machinery of DNA polymerase, the DNA the viral DNA is going to multiply. Okay, and what will happen after that? The cell lysis. Okay, the cell, many virus particles they will be formed. Okay, and they will break open the cell and they will get released outside and the cell will be lysed. But to prevent this, what this restriction enzyme does, the restriction enzymes, they are the basically they breaks the phosphodiester bonds, the phosphodiester bonds. Okay, the phosphate group. Okay, see, suppose this is a sugar, okay, molecule, the phosphate bond is involved. Okay, so all the sugar molecules, they are attached to each other by 3-5 phosphodiester bond. Okay, phosphodiester bond. So what they do is they break this DNA, they acts on this DNA and they digest this viral DNA. So what happens is then viral DNA will get fragmented. Okay, and this is how you can restrict. The restriction enzyme helps to restrict the multiplication of this DNA into the bacterial cells. So this is basically the restriction enzyme, is it plays a very important role in bacteria. Now what we have seen is we have got our source organism. Okay, then we have got our plasmid. Okay, and we have got our restriction enzyme. So the source organism, what is the basic criteria is, whatever the source organism you take, okay, the DNA that you take, you just have to see, this is the plasmid and DNA I have taken. You just make sure that both the things, okay, they should be fragmented, okay, with the same restriction enzyme. If suppose you are using the same restriction enzyme, then the restriction enzyme will cut at the same palindromic sequence. Okay, suppose I am taking EcoR1. Okay, so this restriction enzyme, it will find out the recognition sequence here and here. Okay, GAA TTC GAA TTC. Okay, it will make cut here also, GAA TTC GAA TTC, it will make cut here. Okay, so what will be your final result? G, okay, C T T A A G. Okay, so you will see that this is called as sticky ends. Okay, this is called as overhangs or sticky ends. Overhangs or sticky ends. So they are formed here also. In your vector the same thing will happen. Okay, A T T C and here will be G. So what will happen now? This fragment is going to get insert here into this. So who will does like the hydrogen, why they are called as sticky ends? Because they will go and they will stick here, they will form complementary base pairing. But there is one more enzyme that is that acts as a glue, that is called as DNA ligase. Okay, what DNA ligase will do? DNA ligase, okay, it will insert the gene into the plasmid. Like by complementary base pairing, this fragment will get attached here, okay, but this DNA ligase, it will seal the nick. Okay, so this is how the DNA ligase works. Now what characteristics we have seen now? We have inserted our gene of interest into the plasmid. The next thing we are going to do is transformation. Okay. The next thing is transformation. What is the meaning of transformation? It means you're going to insert, okay, this plasmids into bacterial cell for its multiplication. These are bacterial cells. Some cells, they have the capacity that they allows the extracellular genetic material to get inside, okay. They are called as competent cells. So what these competent cells will do, they will allow this plasmids to get entry. Otherwise there are some cells, they have a natural tendency, they are Haemophilus influenza, okay, or the other one is Bacillus subtilis. They have the natural tendency, they can take this extra chromosome, extra cellular material inside, okay. So these are the two names. Otherwise we have so many techniques. We'll talk about these techniques later into the next session, okay. We'll conduct a separate session for this. There are so many techniques like electroporation, okay. Electroporation is that. Then biolistic method. These are the methods by which we are going to incorporate our plasmid into the cells, host cell. We call them as a host cells, okay. So now our plasmids have incorporated into the bacterial cells. The next step, what we are going to do is we are going to multiply, okay. No, the next thing is we are going to do selection is done, selection of transformants, okay. So students, selection of transformants is very, very important, because what you are doing is, if suppose this is a bacterial broth, okay, broth means what, here you will have a bacterial colonies, okay, and you are going to put plasmids into it. So if suppose your bacterial population, suppose it is 100, okay, and the 50 plasmids you are putting into this bacterial broth, okay. So the chances are, like out of 50, 20, let's see 30, okay, will get entered into the cell, but 20 will not get entered into cell. So the 30 plasmids will get incorporated into the host cells, but 20 cells will not get incorporated, okay. So we have to select. Suppose these are the transformants, okay, and these cells all are the transformant cells, okay, but these cells are not transformants, okay. So you have to select which cells are transformants, because there is no like, why you will expend your energy in multiplying the host cells that are not transformed? Yes or no? If they are not transformed, you don't need to multiply the cells. That's why we are filtering only the transformant cells now. Transformants, they are also called as recombinant cells, okay. So the next is selection of transformants. We'll do after we have selected our transformants. The next is multiplication of host cells. Okay. So what we are going to do is, see, there are bioreactors. Bioreactors, they are the kind of fermenters where you are going to multiply your host cells, host cells. Here will be your host cells containing all the plasmids. Okay, so what is required for this bioreactors? They are called as bioreactors. See, students, in these bioreactors there are some impellers. Okay, what the impellers do, they rotate with the help of motor. Okay, so in fresh media, okay, fresh nutrient media, bacterial cells, they require some media, nutrient media is fed. Okay, for multiplication of the cells, the fresh nutrient media is fed here, and there is also one port to remove, okay, to remove the drained media, the media that has been used. So it is to you remove the used media. Okay, and what they do is the motor, they are fitted with the impellers, so they keep on rotating. Okay, they have a specific rotations per minute. So what it does is, the motor, it rotates, it helps in mixing all these media together. Okay, and the next thing it does is it provides aeration, because all these bacteria are the aerobic bacteria, they do need oxygen, okay, for growth. So here aeration is done. Okay, and here are some ports, like you need to check the pH of media, because bacteria, they are grown in specific media having specific pH. Suppose your pH is not correct, then your cells can die. So you need to check, if suppose the media becomes too much acidic, you have to add alkali into it. If your media becomes alkaline, then you have to add acid into it. Okay, you just have to maintain the pH of your media. Okay, and the one port is there to remove the oxygen. You know, the so many toxic gases are formed, you just have to remove the toxic gases. Okay, so the next is multiplication of host cells. Now you have multiplied your cells. Okay, now your plasmids, okay, your plasmids, the gene of interest, whatever the gene you have inserted, okay, it will start like, expression of gene is the important thing, expression of gene. So the gene will be coded, okay, into the bacterial cell, the gene will be coded, and whatever the product, okay, the products are formed. The products can be alcohol, okay, they can be enzymes. Okay, we have treated a specific gene for insulin, so they can be insulin, they can be hormones. Okay, so all these alcohol, enzymes and hormones are formed. Some cells are some enzymes or hormones, they are formed into the extracellular and intracellular. There are two types. Some hormones could be formed inside the cell. Some hormones or enzymes or proteins, they could be secreted outside. Okay, whenever there is an extracellular, then you have to check media. Okay, you have to check your media, and you just have to purify the product. Purification is also important. You just need to purify your product, and whenever the product formed, that is intracellular, then you have to disrupt the cells, disrupt all the cells. Okay, and then you have to just purify the protein, enzyme or hormone. Okay, you just have to disrupt the cells. Okay, you just have to purify the hormone or the enzyme out of the cell. Clear, students?